So welcome back. As we near the conclusion of our conference, it's my privilege to introduce Matt Linneman, NDDOT Deputy Director for Engineering. Matt has played a key role in shaping North Dakota's transportation initiatives, and we're excited to hear his closing thoughts on this year's conference. So please join me in welcoming Matt to the stage.
Thanks, Paul. What are my reflections on the conference? So I've been thinking about that quite a bit, and it's been a great conference, right? I hope you've all enjoyed it. We've heard a message from our director at the DOT, Ron Hankey. We've heard from Governor Armstrong. We got a continuous improvement message from a magician. And I was like, well, that kind of sounds like the start of a joke. We had a governor, a director, an engineer, and a magician, walk into a bar or something. So I'm like, oh, I'm not a comedian, so I'm like, I can't come up with a good punchline. So I'm like, well, I'm always trying to integrate technology into my daily work, right? So pick my favorite AI tool, say, write me a joke. So just to warn you all now, you're not going to get a joke or a punchline. So don't try to laugh. But one thing that I learned that was a good reflection, my expectation was I'm going to get this really, clever joke coming out of AI. Well, what I learned about AI, you always hear about the cautionary tales of AI. Well, here's a couple things to caution you about. AI is not funny. It does not get what humor is. And AI can be slightly inappropriate. So if you're looking to write a joke, maybe, but no jokes that were, acceptable for this discussion. But I learned a few things. So give it a try. It has been a great conference, and I wanted to reflect on some things that I'd heard. Director Hankey talked about this being the fourth conference, transportation conference in this format, and it's really been a great success. And I think when we first started thinking about this concept and wanting to bring all of our industry together, we're like, we can build off of the construction conference and the project development conference, and we could probably get something going. If we get to 500 people, in the next few years, we'll be doing pretty good. Well, it's been great, right? We've seen a record turnout again. We have like about 980 attendees at this conference, so it's been great to see that everyone's been engaged and really getting some value out of this, and I think that's shown as everyone keeps coming back to the conference. In that first conference too, reflecting back on that, the theme of that was one team, one network, one goal. Right, and that's really almost become a motto for us at the DOT. It's become a sort of an overlying motto for this conference. It's been a motto of how we've been approaching things at the DOT because we really believe in that. And so I'm like, well, maybe we should dig a little bit deeper. At that time it was sort of this conceptual, high-level theme, but it's really come to mean a lot of things. And you've heard a lot of those messages the last couple days, right? So one team. Well, you are all part of that team, right? Our tribal partners who are represented on the stage here, our local government agencies, our contractors, our consultants, vendors, resource agencies, industry groups, all of you that are DOT employees, all of our federal partners, Federal Highway Administration, those and more make up this transportation community that we have, and we are all on that one team. And I think that's really come to show. We've enhanced our collaboration, and we've really figured out that we can work together and do things better, right? The one network concept, right? Well, that's sort of generic, but what does that mean, right? Well, you've heard that from the director and from the governor, right? We have a network of roads and bridges and multimodal facilities and pedestrian facilities all across the state, other sorts of surface transportation, rail and pipelines to move freight. Like all of that has to work together to help move our goods, provide the services that we need for people, and it's all interconnected, right? So that's what it leads to, right? Is our one goal. That is our goal, right? Is an interconnected transportation network, right? And why? Why is that our goal? Well, you heard that from Governor Armstrong, right? Because it helps drive economic growth. It helps provide all the services that we need. It helps get us where we want to go and get services to us that we need. And it helps improve our lives, really, at the bottom of at the end of that, right? So those things have really taken on a lot of meaning and have kind of come the motto of how we operate, in our industry. So thinking about things, out of this conference too, what else did we see? We saw a great agenda presented, right? We had a lot of showcases of some North Dakota projects that all of you had a chance to contribute to. We also had some out-of-state perspectives, bringing new technology, new ideas on how to approach things, or at least concepts on how things can be done. So we're bringing outside information into our North Dakota industry, which I think is always a great thing. We're learning more, we're gaining more. We've had lots of opportunities for connection, networking, reconnecting with old acquaintances, and it's been a great conference, and we've really had a lot of great collaboration that I've seen. A lot of you spending time with each other. Like I said, that further collaboration. We've always had asphalt and concrete tracks of this, but this is the first time where it's a full integration of the asphalt conference and the concrete workshop, right? So we're bringing our industry partners together so we can all be here and all have opportunities to learn and see things that maybe you wouldn't see at a normal conference. Lots of great messages that you heard, again, from Director Hankey and the governor, right? Safety being a core value for us in the transportation industry, right? Vision Zero is what we're always striving for, right? We want to get that number of fatalities and serious injuries down to zero. We want to make sure that we're providing doing the best that we can to provide a safe work environment, a safe workplace for all of you, whether that's, working out on the road, working in a construction site, working in a maintenance zone, collecting data out in the field, doing investigations, working in a lab. There's some hazardous jobs in our industry, and we have to make sure that we always have a safety-conscious mindset, and we're doing the best thing to have good awareness, have good safety protocols in place to keep everybody safe and get them home safe at the end of the day. Said you heard a little bit more also on, like I said, from our magician friend on the continuous improvement, right? I think we probably all do that without maybe even thinking about it, right? We're always trying to find ways to make things better, get better at what we do, and to me, we're trying to integrate technology into our daily lives. Like, there's a lot of tools we have available for us that maybe we don't even leverage the full potential of, and that we can do that. And so I think there's lots of opportunity for us always to be looking internally and revisiting and saying, we can do better. There's lots of innovations coming down the road. Obviously, like I said, AI has opened up a toolbox for many of us to use and help make our jobs more efficient and let us focus on the things that we really need that creative human element to do. So we want to make sure we're staying open to those innovations of the future and implementing those into our workflows. You also heard encouragement from Governor Armstrong too, to get it built, right? And I think you all are a key partner in doing that, and you all do very well, right? We are looking to make sure that the projects that are planned and are funded, that we get those built and get them to the finish line. So, we are always trying to build out, our strategic goal at the DOT is to build out our resilient and sustainable road and bridge network, which includes, like I said, that whole interconnected system, right? And providing quality construction and careful forethought helps us provide that system, providing that sustainability and resiliency. So, thinking about the future and the theme of this year's conference of building our horizons. Director Hankey had sent a letter out to the industry earlier, basically saying the 2025 construction season is going to be down from what we're used to, right? That's sort of the baseline we've been coming into here, right? We're used to about a $550 to $600 million annual construction program, and we're down to about a $400 million program in 2025. And that's because you spent all the money. We've got it built. We were given resources. We put them on the ground. They're now in play for the public to use, right? And they're getting the benefit of. So that's a great testament to all the work that we did. But those were all one-time infusions that had been, coming from whether that was oil impact money, special COVID relief funds, all those one-time sources. We've spent all that money. So now we're back to a base federal aid level program from the state side of things, other than with the addition of the Flexible Transportation Fund, which the state side of that had been spent. And you'll see some local projects coming on board this construction season. But that leads right into what I'm saying is that, there's a great outlook in the future, right? We had provided testimony this morning on our DOT budget bill. We're over on the House side now. And as you can see, I would encourage you all to watch and follow along with that, Senate Bill 2012. And you can see what the legislature is doing is that they're offering a lot of support for transportation, right? They really like what's come out of the Flexible Transportation Fund. They really like what's been done with how we're investing money and being good stewards of the money. And I guess all of that investment, we still have a ways to go to see where it all lands, but I can tell you the intent is that they want to invest in transportation, and the reason they want to invest in transportation is that they trust this industry. They trust that all of you are able to deliver that money in an economical, efficient way that provides benefit for the public. So that's, to me, that trust is one of the greatest pieces of gratitude that we can get from our elected leadership to say, we trust you, we're going to give you more resources that come from the tax-paying public, and we're entrusting that with you, and we know you're going to put it to good use and put it to good work. So that is a great testament and a high amount of praise for all of you and all the work that you do. And there is lots to do. I know it seems like it's a little bit of a down year as far as construction goes, but there's lots of needs out there. And like I said, there's willingness to support transportation. And we're going to see some of that come to fruition, I think, by the time we get to the end of the legislative session. So thank you for all your work. We need to continue to work on that continuous improvement theme again, kind of bringing that together, is that we can always make things efficient. We can look at new different types of technology, make ways to make pavements and bridges and other facilities last their full life, high levels of quality, help us get there, making sure we do the right treatment at the right time, doing maintenance, preventive maintenance, projects when they need to be to extend the life of those assets. So a good testament, like I said, to all the work that you all do. So it's been a great conference. You've done a lot of great work over the last year. I hope you enjoyed the conference. I do want to do some thanks now. So obviously, this just doesn't happen. So we have a conference planning committee, and I just want to call out that committee. So we have our conference stewards from the DOT, Amy Bisey and Corby Seward. They help set the general direction of where we're going. We have a content coordinator that helps set the agenda and the experience here. So Patty Wynn served in that capacity this year. Lindsay Jacobson has been helping. She's our event coordinator. She helps make sure everything works well here. And we got the logistics laid out with the event center and your conference experience. Phil Schultz is our communications coordinator. He helps make sure that the AV is working and the messaging is out and you're getting all of your updates. So it's a great DOT team. Plus we have the horsepower, I'll call it, of Upper Great Plains backing us up too with their team with Brian Fuchs and Tracy Wing, Tom Jurek, and Dustin Almer. So that's our core planning committee. There's lots of other volunteers that have helped be room moderators, set up things. They go on and on. We've had a great MC over the past couple of days in Paul Demers, so we'd like to thank him as well. So there's a huge group that's all made this really come off, so let's give them a round of applause. Another big thank you to all of the sponsors, all of the vendors, all the ones that have contributed. Obviously, it costs money. You have some registration fees that you've paid to come here, but we also have offset a lot of the costs through the sponsorship program, and we really appreciate them for wanting to be involved, and I hope that they're seeing value out of this, and we're getting some good exposure and getting them good opportunities to connect with all of you as well. So let's give another round of applause for all of our sponsors. Like I said, these events are successful because all of you find value out of it. So we're always interested in your feedback. There will be a feedback survey coming out again. So we always want to have an after-action report on what can be better, what we can do to add value to the time that you're spending with all of us. Coming up, we do have some bonus training this afternoon at 12:30 up in a couple of the rooms. So stick around for those if you're interested in that part of the agenda, and hopefully we can grow the training sessions into the future. Obviously, if you're traveling, make sure you check out the ND Roads app. Looks like we got a clear sailing from a winter weather, snow and ice control perspective, but the nice thing is we do have, construction projects haven't quite started yet, so you don't have to worry about that. But we are out doing maintenance because the weather is nice. So be aware of maintenance zones that are popping up, and we're trying to do a better job of getting those populated out on the travel map as well to give you a complete picture of what's out there before you go, knowing before you go. So I'd like to invite you all back next year for the Transportation Conference. It'll be March 10th and 11th here in Bismarck again. And with that, I'd like to say that hopefully you all travel safe, you buckle up, and take it easy. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.